I wanted to update y'all on Ahmad and his family. Last time I talked to him, they're safe, everything is okay. But this was like before the end of the ceasefire. Before the end of the ceasefire, there was like this 2 weeks of Israel and the IDF closing off the borders and not letting in medical aid or food and kind of just literally resuming business as usual. Since the day that the ceasefire came into action, I was over the moon that day when I saw the news. I downloaded this app called No Thanks, and it's like an app that like kind of you can look up like specific brands and organizations and companies that you should boycott, and like, you know, it gives you evidence of like their complicity and their involvement with the Israel state or you know, Zionist groups. They put up like a little message saying like, you know, oh, ceasefire talks, you know, in a couple of days, inshallah. I was like already about to do my best to have a good day that day, but then I got that message and it just overflowed me with just so much happiness. And then obviously I texted Ahmad right away, and I was like, did you hear the good news? Did you hear like everything? Like, I'm so happy, like I'm about to be in tears, you know, like, how are you? Did you hear anything about from your family? How are you feeling? And I remember him saying that like, you know, I am so happy too, but I do know that like I'm preparing myself. You know, he said he was preparing himself for like the next 24 hours or 48 hours, how long it was going to be until the ceasefire happened, that this might be some of the hardest hours during this whole genocide, during this whole like, you know, ethnic cleansing of his people. 24, 48 hours passed by and like they were just bombing. Israel was just bombing and bombing and bombing to the very last second. And it broke my heart, you know, every day. There's not like a weight that I feel like I don't carry in my chest. Being an American, first off, being a minority, it breaks my heart to just see all the facts and know how much this place that I call home, this country ruins people's lives, you know, in other spaces. Even here, I proudly wear my Free Palestine pin every day because it's the least I can do. It's the easiest thing I can do, you know, because I believe that when you say Free Palestine, when you stand for something, when you stand against an injustice like this, it means you're standing up for all, right? When I say Free Palestine, when I'm thinking it, when I'm showing up to the protest, when I'm being a part of my local community of standing in solidarity with Palestine, it is me standing in line with my Hispanic Latinx community. You know, it is me standing with my Asian American communities, you know, any minority group who are, and don't even know it themselves sometimes, are being oppressed. So I know in my heart what I'm doing. I know what I stand for. Since the ceasefire ended, all the news coming from Gaza right now, even in the occupied West Bank, seeing that it's all happening again during such a sacred month too, it breaks your heart. A couple days ago, Hassam Shabbat was killed, targeted. He was a young man, 23. He's young. You know, to be so young, and I think there was a comment he made where like, you know, like I want to be here. This is like my life, you know, like I want to be here to give the truth, to tell people that like, you know, this is what really is going on. Like he wanted to be a journalist. He wanted to, that's what he wanted to do with his life during a time that was so crucial and so, I can't imagine. You know? I mean, what the fuck was I doing at like 22, 23? I was probably being an asshole somewhere, being the most selfish prick ever, you know? Like, oh man. During this past year, so many journalists have been targeted and killed by the IDF. I will always remember Shirin Abu Akleh though. I remember watching her news way back, and I didn't even know who she was. I just recognized her face. And then when I started kind of like delving and doing my homework and really opening my eyes to the situation going on in Gaza and in the history of Palestine, you know, this woman was like out there in the past 2 decades. She was an American citizen too. Palestinian American journalist got shot by the IDF, targeted. That vest they wear, that press vest, that's crazy. You might as well say, shoot me, right here. You know what I mean? They are brave people. Those folks are brave. And we all could go through our lives and never come close to that sort of bravery, to tell the truth, to give the truth in a situation like that. You know what I mean? And then also the Columbia University student, Mahmoud Khalil. I don't know, some people think that like, because something's going on, like so far away, you know, Palestine, Gaza, on the other side of the world, you know, it doesn't affect me. But that shit is on home turf, man. Home turf is doing this over there. What goes on over there goes on over here. It might not be in the same scope, but it is going on, whether you notice it or not. So that's why it's so important to speak up, to keep, showing up, and to keep, using your voice. Any means you have, like, I'm not a rich motherfucker. If I was a rich motherfucker, I would be raising money, I would be doing this and that. But I do have platforms, I have multiple platforms, and I always do my best to show up with that as best I can, I have my body, so like, let me do it through like the things I wear. Because like, also fashion is political, you know what I mean? And so it's just like, we got to understand that everything is connected. A life is so important. A life is so important. I don't know what happened along the way where some of us just kind of like took that for granted, but a life is so important. Empathy. My goodness, we need empathy. And if there's something I can leave you with today is think about empathy. Lead with empathy. I come from a broken home, so I had to teach myself empathy. I'm not saying I was born like some graceful angel. My view was very skewed, but I recognized that, and I put in the time, and I built it up. So I feel like empathy is something that like is obtainable. You choose to feel something. You choose to want to care. You know what I mean? Every choice you make. I see so many smart folks on social media, so many good folks, educating and doing their best to leave a good mark and to spread awareness about every situation going on right now. Sudan, Congo, Palestine, the ever-growing fascism of like America that is like even more present these days. It's just like I feel like, are all leading with empathy, and that is what is going to save us at the end of the day. I truly believe that. As always, we are raising funds and awareness for Palestine, and if you want to help yourself financially, click the link in my bio. We've been raising funds for my good friend Ahmad and his family who are in Gaza. Hopefully one day, the borders will open again, and they will all be reunited. Med Global doing their best to give medical aid to Gaza. Mecca for Peace, Middle East Children for Peace. They're there helping the children, the ones at the end of the bullet. The kids, the Palestinian kids are the ones who are being targeted. This has been like a war on kids, for real, man. And it's like, it hurts. So that's another organization you can like, donate to. And then another one close to my heart, Gaza Soup Kitchen. Gaza Soup Kitchen, wonderful bluegrass on the ground in Gaza, providing food, providing fresh ingredients to the people. They were operating from when the siege happened and when when Israel closed off the borders and food wasn't going in, they were still finding ways to like get food to the people. You can help fund that. And then they are continuing so even right now. So it's just like Gaza Soup Kitchen. They've always been kind to me. I don't deserve it, y'all. But like, definitely donate to them too if you want to help. Like, if you're gonna buy like a coffee, buy someone like some food there. So yeah, all links in my bio. As always, free Palestine and lead with empathy, baby. Love you.